Grace and peace be with you. Hi, my name is Mark. I'm the pastor at Sycamore Creek in Potterville, and I have a brief thought for you today based on our reading from the New Testament Challenge. We are on day 54, and our readings are John 5 and 6 and the whole book of Philemon. Philemon is incredibly short. It's one chapter. It might be one of the shortest books in the Bible. You'll have no trouble getting through the reading for today. And I want to give you a brief thought today based on Philemon. Philemon is a fascinating letter. It's very clearly a personal letter. So Paul makes no attempt to give you his credentials at the beginning of this message, of this letter. Often he starts his letter by saying, this is from Paul, an apostle of Christ Jesus. There's nothing like that. This is not a letter written to a group of people meant to be read in front of a church. It's a personal letter. We get to read Paul's personal mail that he's written to a friend named Philemon, and he's writing about Onesimus, a slave who has left Philemon, who has been with Paul, has come to Christ, and now Paul is pleading Onesimus' case. Now, as we read through, there's a couple of things that I noticed here. One is that it's really cool to read that Paul writes to the church that meets in your house. There's a house church that Philemon is a part of or a leader in. And another thing that really stuck out to me as Paul is writing to Philemon is that this is personal correspondence. So Paul has a relationship with Philemon, and one of the things he says is that I remember you in my prayers. And other translations say making mention of you. Now, making mention is fascinating to me because making mention does not necessarily mean a really long prayer for somebody. But it's literally that. It's making mention of someone in your prayers. Paul makes mention regularly of Philemon, and I want to ask you today: who do you make mention of in your prayers? Sometimes I think that when we say we will pray for someone, we feel like we need to have big, long, flowery, lengthy prayers for someone. And what Paul reminds us of is that God's Spirit can work through even making mention of someone else in our prayers. Maybe sit down today and make a list of who you can make mention of as you pray to God. God's grace and peace be with you.